The first thing that captures attention is the sight of flames and smoke rising above Moscow's gleaming skyline. Ukrainian drones striking the $1.2 billion Moscow city towers was not only a military action, but also a symbolic shockwave that reverberated across Russia and beyond. Hello everyone, welcome back to the WAR Diary. And before we dive into this shocking event and its far-reaching implications, make sure to subscribe and like this video because today's topic is one of the most significant in the ongoing conflict. What we are witnessing is not just a strike on a building, but a strike on the very image that Russia has been trying to present to the world: strength, stability, and untouchable grandeur. The attack raises questions about the effectiveness of Russia's defenses, the boldness of Ukraine's drone strategy, and the meaning of such symbolic hits on high-value economic and political targets. When we talk about the exterior, the Moscow city towers stand as a symbol of Russia's modernization and wealth. These skyscrapers, built at a cost of over $1.2 billion, were meant to rival the skylines of New York, London, and Dubai. Shimmering glass facades, towering steel frames, and futuristic designs, all constructed to represent Russia's ambition and global power. But now those same reflective surfaces that once dazzled with architectural brilliance have been scarred by explosions. The exterior, once pristine and untouchable, has become vulnerable and exposed, showing that even the most protected and glamorous icons of the Russian Federation are within the reach of Ukrainian drones. These glass giants, supposed to reflect Russia's invulnerability, are now reflecting flames, smoke, and global embarrassment. For Russia, the architectural exterior has turned into a battlefield, and for Ukraine, it has become a statement that no fortress of glass and steel is beyond their reach. Moving to the interior, which is where the real symbolic damage lies, we see that Moscow city towers are not just office buildings but the very heart of Russia's economic and political elite. Inside these skyscrapers are luxury offices, multinational corporations, financial institutions, government, connected businesses, and even residences for the wealthiest Russian elites. The interior represents the nerves and veins of Russia's economy, where high-profile decisions are made and where oligarchs and officials conduct business. By striking this interior space, Ukraine sent a chilling reminder that the war is no longer confined to distant battlefields or border villages, but can penetrate deep into the living and working spaces of Russia's most powerful. Imagine the shock of workers, executives, and residents inside those towers as alarms went off, glass shattered, and fires erupted. It is not only the physical interior that was attacked but also the psychological interior of Russia's sense of safety. For years, Russians living in Moscow believed the war was distant, something happening out there, in Ukraine. Now, the interior of their own city, their offices, their luxury towers are on the front line. This disruption to the sense of safety, comfort, and normality is perhaps more damaging than the physical cracks in the walls. The attack on the interior demonstrates that Ukraine has not just weapons but also the ability to unsettle the very core of Russian life and power. Performance is another crucial aspect to analyze here, because this strike shows the effectiveness and evolving capability of Ukraine's drone warfare. These drones, which may not look impressive on the surface compared to fighter jets or missiles, are proving to be agile, precise, and capable of bypassing Russia's heavy air defense systems. The performance of Ukrainian drones has steadily increased, with longer ranges, smarter navigation, and more sophisticated targeting systems. By striking Moscow, hundreds of kilometers from the front line, these drones demonstrate that performance is not about size or cost, but about innovation and adaptability. The drone's ability to evade radar and reach the heart of the Russian capital underscores Ukraine's growing technological edge in asymmetric warfare. Russia has one of the world's most expensive air defense networks, yet the performance of Ukraine's relatively low-cost drones is making a mockery of those billion-dollar systems. Every successful strike on Moscow raises serious doubts about the actual reliability of Russia's much-advertised defenses. When it comes to safety features, this is where Russia's image takes its hardest hit. The city towers were supposed to be among the safest and most secure buildings in Russia. Built with fire-resistant materials, equipped with advanced evacuation systems, guarded by high in security, and under the umbrella of Moscow's vast defense network, they were meant to symbolize untouchable security. But the drone strike revealed that these safety features are not absolute. While residents and workers may have been evacuated in time, the fact that a drone could strike the building at all means the safety narrative is broken. Safety features, once considered beyond question, are now under the microscope. Russians are asking, if billion-dollar skyscrapers in the capital can be hit, then what about schools, hospitals, or ordinary apartments? For Ukraine, the strike sends a message that Russia's safety bubble is an illusion. For Russia, it forces a rethinking of how safe its elite really are. The unique selling points of this event are not difficult to identify. Ukraine has managed to turn relatively cheap and mass-produced drones into tools of strategic warfare, while Russia's elite targets are being exposed as fragile. One of the unique aspects of this attack is its symbolism, striking not just any building, but the city towers, a representation of Russia's modern image. It also shows Ukraine's strategic creativity. Instead of wasting drones on random targets, they chose a high-profile, high-visibility symbol that would get global media attention and send shockwaves across Russian society. Another unique point is the psychological warfare dimension. This was not just about physical damage, but about showing Russian citizens that their leaders cannot shield them from the realities of war. The strike transformed drones from tactical weapons into psychological and political tools, making them more valuable than their actual explosive payload. Price is another perspective worth considering. The towers themselves are worth $1.2 billion, and the financial cost of repairing, rebuilding, or even just securing them after the strike will be massive. The psychological cost for Russia is even higher, as the attack undermines investor confidence and questions Moscow's safety as a financial hub. On the other side, the drones used by Ukraine cost only a fraction compared to the damage inflicted. This massive imbalance of price is what makes drone warfare so potent. For a few $1,000s per unit, Ukraine can force Russia to spend millions, if not billions, on damage control, air defenses, and propaganda to calm its population. Price, in this sense, is both literal and symbolic, showing that David can indeed challenge Goliath with a far smaller financial burden. In conclusion, the Ukrainian drone strike on Moscow's $1.2 billion city towers is more than just an attack on glass and steel. It is a strike on Russia's pride, security, and sense of invincibility. The exterior of Moscow's shining towers, once symbols of progress now scarred by flames, reflects the reality of vulnerability. The interior, where elites once conducted business in safety, is now a reminder of how close the war has come. The performance of Ukrainian drones has exceeded expectations, turning them into a formidable weapon against one of the world's strongest defense systems. The safety features, once considered unshakable, have been revealed as inadequate. The unique selling points of this strike are its symbolism, psychological impact, and strategic creativity. And when it comes to price, Ukraine is investing little to inflict heavy costs on Russia. Ultimately, this event is a dramatic turning point in modern warfare, showing that technology, strategy, and symbolism can outweigh raw power and wealth. For Russia, it is a moment of humiliation. For Ukraine, it is a moment of triumph in asymmetric warfare. And for the world, it is a reminder that in the age of drones, no city, no matter how powerful, can consider itself untouchable.